Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray underwent surgery for his ACL and his meniscus today. Today's January 4th, so we are about 9 months from the start of next season. With an isolated ACL, no meniscus, we still have about that 9-month timeline where we don't really want to rush our athletes back before that, because we know that there's significant increased risks for re-tears, but also other injuries in general. So typically we want to see more than 9 months of rehab before they return. Now, the addition of the meniscus repair is significant here. With an isolated ACL repair, no meniscus or any other tissues involved, the athlete can start fully weight bearing typically right away, and they can be fairly aggressive with their rehab as far as range of motion and strengthening goes. When you throw in the meniscus repair, this slows everything down. Typically in weeks 1 and 2, they really can't put any weight through that leg at all. We call it toe touch weight bearing, where they can put their toe down just to help with balance, but they're not really putting any weight through it. Then the next couple of weeks, it's usually partial weight bearing, where they're putting maybe 25 or 50% of their weight through that limb, but not all their weight. It's usually not until weeks 4 or 6, depending on the surgeon and how involved the surgery was, before full weight bearing. Anytime you're not weight bearing through a limb or not fully weight bearing through a limb, atrophy occurs, and it occurs fast. That's going to be significant muscle loss to the ankles, the legs, the glutes, even the core muscles. So it really sets you back quite a bit. But and even more than just from an atrophy standpoint, you can't be quite as aggressive with regaining range of motion into knee flexion or the knee bending. Typically, you're limited to about 90 degrees the first couple of weeks, and then slowly progressing with that after a meniscus repair. Whereas with just an ACL, you can be a little more aggressive. Anytime you're delaying range of motion, you run the risk of stiffness developing. And for some people, it's really hard to get that full range back. I had heard that was part of the issue with J.K. Dobbins. Of course, he's fully back now, but it took him a while. And his surgery was more involved than Murray's. So a little bit of a different story, but just to kind of paint a picture of what some of the challenges that Murray may have coming up over the next several months as he rehabs. It's not out of the question that he can play week 1, but it's going to be a major challenge for Kyler Murray to be ready to go 9 months from now for week 1. And even if he is out there, he's a mobile quarterback. So that's an additional challenge, is that so much of his game is based on running. And it's going to be very hard for him to have all his speed and agility back at that point. But also, it's his right leg. He's a right-handed quarterback. So that's the leg he pushes off of to throw. So getting that strength back is going to be so imperative. So again, that meniscus repair comes into play there too. I have no doubt he gets back to 100%. I just don't think it'll be in the first half of next season. But from a dynasty standpoint, stash him. From a redraft standpoint, yeah, take him. He'll probably be back to 100% in the second half of next season, but you're going to want someone else to start in the first several weeks of the season.